So this is Logically, and when you get here, just hit close. Here's your workspace. Here are some of the things that you will need. So essentially, this lets you drop down logic gates into circuits, right? So that way you can create logic circuits. And then you can simulate them to see whether something equals true or false going through those different logic gates. So for example, I could drop down a switch here, and I could drop down a switch here, and we could put in an AND gate, and we could wire these up. So if I click and hold, I can drag it there, click and hold, drag it there. Use a light bulb to simulate on or off, right, 1 or 0. And now we have our example of a basic logic gate. We could increase this to 3 if we wanted to as well, right? Although in most of the examples, and most of the time that we talk about it, we talk about there being 2 inputs, right? So then what we could do is we could go down here to Other, and we could bring in a label. And here we could put input 1, and we can put input 2, and we could put output, and then we could actually use another label to make like a truth table. So we could have input slash output, right? So now if we click these different buttons, we can see what happens. So if this is true and this is false, then nothing happens. Obviously, if both are false, nothing happens, right? So we can go into here and we can say if 0 and 0, right, off and off, then it's 0. And then we did 1 on and 1 off, and that was also 0. And we can try the other one, that's 0. And then if we do both, then we finally have one that's on. So we can modify this a little bit more. So 0, 1 is still off. And then finally, if they're both on, then it works. Now this is not super beautiful looking, right? Oh, I accidentally zoomed in. I'll zoom out down here. But I could space these out in just with spaces, right? To kind of make it look a little bit clearer to read. There we go. Oh, it doesn't like the spaces. I could use dots as well. That's not ideal, but it'll work, I guess. Right, so just to make it a little bit easier to read, right? So that way everything is lined up nice and easy. Now, it may not be that big of a deal on this one, right, to not have things lined up, but it could look a bit, not great, however you want to think about it, talk about it, it's still not, whatever. Anyway, you can write your logic gates here, and you can try to line them up if it's looking not quite to your liking. Now, this is still just a logic gate, right? For it to be a circuit, we need, I can click on these and press delete, right, to delete them. For it to be a circuit, we would need more, right? So now if I go up here to this switch as well, I can wire that up, I can wire this up, I can bring in a new light bulb, and I can wire that up. Now we have a basic circuit, right? And then we can test this, right? Now I need one more label, right? Okay. And then we could make a truth table for this one. And I guess you could create your truth tables on paper or somewhere else too if you wanted to, just since it doesn't line up nicely. But it is kind of nice to be able to make them here because then you can actually have it all in the same picture with your actual circuit that you made. Right, so you can see the various combinations and what becomes on or off, what becomes true or false, right? So play with this, get the hang of it, you'll need to use it for several of the next questions on this task.